What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the J.A.B Sports Show. We got episode 15 coming at you all. Some very interesting things to talk about. We had the playoffs, finish up in the AFC and NFC Championship yesterday. Shador Sanders got announced as a Pro Bowler today, which is, we'll
Crazy.
get into that. Talking about the Super Bowl, which will be in 2 weeks. And then get into some, NBA and college basketball. But as right now, we can talk about the NFC and AFC championship games yesterday. I think if he were playing for the Broncos yesterday, I think the Broncos win. No offense to Jared Stidham, but to have 10 passing yards in the second half is ridiculous.
He only had 10 passing yards in the second half.
Yeah,
There's
and
also a blizzard in the second
and
half.
and
that
that did not happen until the fourth quarter.
It was started in the third.
Don't care.
It matters.
It does not matter.
that pass was
Peyton Manning and all
terrible.
them played through blizzards, dude.
He's a
I
backup.
tell you this much: there ain't no damn quarterback ain't ever gonna throw 10 yards. I saw a quote. Somebody tweeted it was out. You're telling me a grown ass man that's getting paid $10 million to throw a football only threw it 10 yards? That's like grabbing like one of us, man, go out there and make a freaking screen pass 3 times in a row, and you probably get at least 11. Like, I think the Broncos are winning if Bo Nix plays. Patriots offense looked. I mean, I guess you could say they were running the. Oh, Drake May was running the ball effectively. Other than that, I mean, he only had 86 passing yards.
Last man only throwing 86 passing yards in an AFC Championship game. Who's making also millions of dollars?
That is also very true. So that was a very defensive game, which I understand. You have to win how you have to win, but the fact of like, I think I think the Broncos end up winning that game if Bo Nix isn't sidelined.
I also think the Broncos will obviously push it to overtime, but if they called the game right, some bad decisions by the coaching staff, not kicking the field goal when it wasn't snowing. It was fourth and whatever. They were easily in field goal range for Will Lutz. They didn't kick the field goal. Obviously, you don't know that would be the score to put in overtime, but that they went for it, didn't get it. He threw an interception. So I think that was poor coaching, poor decision making. Obviously, it's the AFC Championship. You gotta get a little more aggressive. They knew the snow was coming. They knew they had a backup quarterback, and they knew their receivers on both sides would basically be useless unless it's like a 5 yard or 10 yard route. So I think that a lot of it, obviously, you're out a potential franchise quarterback, but the coaching is to blame here too.
You just take points where you get. That's where the Dan Campbell effect comes in. We're going forward so much. Just take the points that you can get, and then worry about having to go for it later down the road. Because that would have put them up 10-0. That would have put them up 10-0.
But that
And then
really,
obviously
really
that fumble call was pretty crazy too. That happened. I mean, it was a fumble. Don't get me wrong, but that fumble happening, and then it just all went downhill from there. But I mean, the AFC Championship game. I think the Seahawks are going to beat the Patriots. I just
Both teams are battle tested, so where's the game at this year?
Santa Clara
where
So warm.
Niners play.
where the Niners play, which is where the Seahawks have already played.
It's where the power plan is. Look out for injuries.
Yeah,
Both
but
teams are
let's talk about the more. I guess we can go into the better game. I guess you can say out of the two yesterday, the Seahawks and Rams was back and forth. The Seahawks honestly could have put it out of reach even sooner if Woolen wasn't dumb and got a unsportsmanlike conduct. They were up 31-20, forced a 4th and 12, decided he wanted to talk crap to the sideline of the Rams, got a 15-yard sportsmanlike penalty, so it's a first down for the Rams. So the Rams go from punting to throwing a touchdown to Puka Nakua.
well. That was the very next play too. So
Yeah, that's what I mean. So it's the very next play. That's what I mean. It's like they're able to flip that, make it a 4-point game. And I think the Seahawks got very lucky that the Rams weren't able to capitalize on the next because that happened very early in the fourth. That happened with like 11 minutes left, 10 minutes left. Could have been something.
Jesus, Mikel is having a terrible game right now.
It could have been a very different approach to how that game ended. But Sam Darnold, man, proving the haters wrong. He threw for 346 yards last night and 3 touchdowns. Matthew Stafford threw for 379 yards and 3 touchdowns. It was a very valiant effort from both quarterbacks. But, I mean, going into that game, I don't really see how you can go in and doubting Sam Darnold anymore.
No, I think too many people were hooked on how he started his career with the worst franchise in the NFL. No secret there. But, this isn't the same Sam Darnold. He's in, an actually half decent situation. He was always, he didn't show a whole lot of promise on the Jets as far as individual wise, but I don't know. The haters can't keep talking. I mean, he's been with, decent teams for a while now, and he's put up respectable numbers. He's that quarterback where I forgot where we talked about this. I don't know if it was on stream or whatever. But if you have a few, super Pro Bowl caliber weapons on your offense and a above average defense, he can take you as far as the team does. He's a good fit for the Seahawks, but for a lot of those teams that as they say, are just a quarterback away.
I mean, do you have anything you to say, Jalen?
Um, Not really. I mean, obviously, he's proven that he can lead a court team. I kind of want to see. I want to see him stay with the Seahawks, like for the next. I think he's still under another year, but like after this contract year. But if it
There
isn't,
ain't no chance that they don't extend him after this year. They'd be dumb as hell not to extend him.
I kind of want to see what. I would want to know what he would look like on like a Bengals kind of team, an offense but no defense. Would he put up the same numbers that like Joe Burrow does? Is he that kind of caliber where he can put up numbers like that, or if he's just like, if he is like a game managing quarterback, not necessarily a better game managing quarterback. Like he can put up stats, but he can also control what needs to be controlled. Like he doesn't have to force it if he doesn't want to. He can run out a clock if needed, but he can also throw when his stars are open and want the ball.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I don't think anyone can do what Joe Burrow does
Because
he's Joe Burrow. But
I think last year the Vikings defense was decent too. They just unfortunately played better than average defense. They just unfortunately played the Lions in the first round. That last year with Sam Darnold at the helm, and then this year he has another top 2 defense in the league. I kind of want to see what he would do. I want to see what he can do with like not necessarily an average defense, but maybe like a 15 or like a between like 15 and 10, top 10 defense. See if he has what he can do where all those other stars kind of, because I would put him in like a middle of the pack kind of range. He's not in the superstar category of a quarterback, but he's obviously better than your average go quarterback.
I think he sits like 10 to 14. I could think about it and give him an exact place in my mind, but I think he's closer to 10. I think he is top 12 for sure. Especially, with weapons around him. Obviously, we saw it when he played a bit in San Fran. He didn't play too bad there when he was backing up Brock Purdy. And this year he has, Jackson Smith and Jigba, Kenneth Walker, Zach Charbonnet, and a bunch of other, good role players. I don't think going into the season the Seahawks offense was projected to be as efficient as they were this year. Because they do obviously have talent. They have, a top 5 wide receiver. And when he gets the touches, a top 10 running back, but he doesn't really get those touches.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think he's legit. I think he's way better than your average starting quarterback in the NFL. I do agree. I don't think he's a superstar.
Talk about Sam Darnold, right? About not being a superstar.
Yeah,
Dude,
Like superstar.
like
I'm talking like Joe Burrow, Patrick Mahomes,
that kind of
like
stuff.
that.
yeah, I mean, I don't think he'll ever be in that top tier of with like those 3 to 4 quarterbacks that we
Because
just
like
have up
I think
there.
he's the tier below it though.
I
other
think
than
I think it goes. Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, Lamar, Josh Allen. Honestly, I don't even know if Lamar's in that category anymore.
I mean, he had one bad year because of injuries. He was literally statistically the
Nah,
best
but
quarterback last year.
nah. But anyway, they go. He's here. Those four are there. Those four are there, and then I'll probably go like Herbo, Sam,
Jared Goff.
Stafford, Jared Goff, and Dak Prescott. After this year, I'll go. Dak is now that second tier. Third tier would probably be like
Don't forget Danny Dimes in that second tier, man.
fuck Danny Dimes, bro. You gotta do more than 1 year of high quality
He was
football.
on the second worst franchise in the NFL.
Well, the
That
Raiders might be
that
taking that.
franchise was also
The Raiders
disaster
might
of
be taking
injuries
that.
as well.
Well, the Giants are more of a disaster than the Raiders. I think the Giants obviously might be a better franchise, but as far as the Giants are always going to giant.
Yeah,
Like the Raiders are just bad.
yeah. Well, coming down to it, I mean, Drake May be having his second year in the league, already having the Patriots back on top, dude. I think that just shows how much it is dependable on getting the right coach. Because Mike Vrabel dude came in, turned a 4-13. Don't get me wrong, their schedule wasn't very tough. I think it was like 30th or it was in that like 26th to 30th range of strength of schedule. But I mean, you got to beat the people that are in front of you, and I mean they beat the Texans, beat the Chargers, beat the Broncos. I mean,
Didn't
without the
lose.
Nick.
They've
Didn't lose
beat
on the road.
they haven't lost on the road. They've beaten three of the top five team defenses, not top five teams, but top
Yeah,
five
so
defenses, and they're playing another one for the Super Bowl. So
we'll see how it goes. Mike Vrabel is a very good coach. It just shows you how important it is. Drake May and Mike Vrabel might be the next Belichick and Brady. We might see another dynasty of the Patriots. But then that would be crazy. But anyway, let's jump over to this real quick. Me and Jalen were talking about this before Alex joined and before we got started here. Shador Sanders being a Pro Bowler is crazy. That should have an asterisk next to it. The fact that Drake May isn't able to play, so it's Josh Allen, Justin Herbert, and Drake May. Well, Drake May can't play in it because he's playing in the Super Bowl. And I understand Bo Nix is hurt, so you don't pick him. But dude, Trevor Lawrence, who was a MVP candidate, isn't on there. That's crazy. Then you have, I
Aaron
mean, dude, I
Rodgers.
understand
Aaron
I would
Rodgers,
even have, I would have Aaron Rodgers over him. C.J. Stroud had a down year, and I would still had C.J. Stroud over him.
Joe Burrow was hurt and still played more games than him and had better stats than he did.
Yeah, Joe Burrow. I still would have put Joe Burrow in there because Joe was pretty solid. I would have put Joe Flacco in there before him. Like, dude, you're thinking about all these quarterbacks. Like, I know Danny Dimes is hurt, so you can't put him in there. I
Baker.
mean, well, AFC.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, dude. I mean, like, there were so many different choices.
Put Tua in
Lamar,
front of him.
you
Tua.
still got, yeah, you still got into Lamar, even though I know he missed like 7 games or something. I don't know if there's like a requirement in the NFL, but there can't be if he only played in 4 games
I'm pretty sure he played in. I think he only started.
in like 4 or 5.
I don't even think he started in five. I think he played in five, but I think he only started three or four.
One sec. Let's look at Shador's stats.
But yeah, I think it's absolutely dumb. I don't really know how to explain it. But I think I can confidently say I'd pick every other starting AFC quarterback to be in the Pro Bowl over Shador Sanders, even Cam Ward.
Well, Cam Ward had a good season.
Yeah, he's fumbled the ball a lot.
He did that in the first half. He didn't do that necessarily in this. And also, you got to look at his O line and the rest of his offense.
Yeah, he led the league in fumbles by a lot.
He started 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He started the last 7 games of the
He played
season.
7 games.
Yeah,
Didn't even.
and he won three. He was 3-4,
That's Pro Bowl talent right there, man.
and he threw for 1,400 yards, which is
200 a
200
game.
yards a game. Completion percentage was 56.6%. He threw 7 touchdowns, so won a game, and he threw 10 interceptions.
So a little more than one a game.
That's abysmal. I mean, that's just so crazy that they actually did that.
Pro Bowl
Not
talent, baby. Pro Bowl
not
talent.
not deserving. Have fun in the flag football game, uh, but not deserving of it whatsoever. I'd literally pick every single other eligible AFC quarterback over Shedeur Sanders,
Even Tua.
even Tua. Yes,
I don't get it, bro. I don't think you should have gave him that Pro Bowl because now he's gonna get to have a Pro Bowl next to it. Even if he never makes one again, he's gonna get to say he had one at the end of his career.
it's a weak vote for him.
He's going to be a Pro Bowl quarterback.
Dude, this is kind of like the Tyler Huntley time, like when Tyler Huntley got one.
Well, he played better than Shedeur.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying it's kind of like that. It's kind of like that atmosphere of it where it's like, well, we'll ask you. I don't know. Maybe Trevor Lawrence and everybody turned it down.
Yeah, I mean, you get the honors of playing in the Pro Bowl, but like, what does that mean? You're throwing flag football with your buddies and laughing.
I don't understand why you would want to turn it down, bro. I understand an extra week of vacation or whatever, but you don't get there until the Thursday of.
It's not like you have to prepare for
Yeah,
it.
it's like I would be like, hell yeah. I mean, if I was Trevor Lawrence and they asked me, I'd be like, fuck yeah, dude, get me there. But I don't know. That's tough success. I mean, I don't get the Pro Bowl thing of it. Next year, it looks like he's going to be the starting quarterback. The Browns still haven't hired a coach. Maybe they're waiting to hire. Is it Clint Kubiak, the offensive coordinator for the Seahawks? Maybe they're waiting for him to get done to interview him. Or maybe they're going to interview the defensive coordinator for the Seahawks. I don't know because they're waiting until the season gets done. The Bills are interviewing Brian Daboll for their coach. I don't know who they're going to go with. They're going to let Josh Allen. Josh Allen's going to be the decision factor on the next head coach, which I agree makes 100% that you should.
I think your quarterback should be, especially if he's a franchise quarterback.
Yeah, like I mean, I don't think
You can't have a coach that butts head with your own quarterback. That's just going to end in disaster.
if I'm the Browns, I'm keeping their defensive coordinator, and then I'm hiring an offensive-minded head coach because I would not want to hire a defensive head coach to butt heads with that guy that's had a top 5 defense for the last 8 years since Myles Garrett came in the league or whatever.
They've low key been only an offense away from being like elite.
Dude, and their best offense was with Joe Flacco in 2023.
Didn't they make the playoffs or damn near made the playoffs that year?
They were like a terrible record, and then Joe Flacco just came in and won, and they got the 5th seed, but they had to play the Texans, and the Texans hung 45 on their head.
Are you having trouble with your computer again?
No, I just had to unplug my charger and plug it back in.
I mean, I don't know. The head coaching carousel is right now. Who are the teams that still need head coaches? The Bills, the Browns. Is that it? Bills, Browns, and Raiders.
Let's see. I think so.
Bills, Browns, and Raiders. I don't know who the hell is going to win that Raiders job.
You're definitely going to look at it. A young coach would want it. Like one that's trying to get into head coaching would definitely take that job. I mean, you can't get much worse.
I mean, it's a job.
Yeah. It's a head coaching job. You have young talent on the team. You kind of
Mike
just have to
McDaniels
fit
was
in
going to
the young.
interview. He was still in the race for the Raiders, but then he ultimately just ended up signing with Chargers today.
Let's see. This is not accurate.
But I mean, I don't know. Maybe we can do. Should we do a way too early Super Bowl prediction for next year?
The Cardinals still need a head coach.
What would the Cardinals still need? So there are 4 teams that still need a head coach.
Yeah.
Dang. Are they just waiting for all these coordinators to get done?
Maybe.
Honestly, I wouldn't mind to be the Cardinals head coach. They got talent. They just have a few. They're also like a team that's missing a few pieces. You have good young talent on the
Stud
offensive end,
receivers and
and a tight end.
Your offensive line needs adjusted. Your offensive line's butt cheeks besides like your left tackle.
They were missing their starting running back for most of the year, who's a pretty decent one.
Who's their starting running back?
James Conner.
Oh yeah, yeah. They were losing him after like week 3 or something.
Yeah, most of it, bro.
And they started the year off 2-0, bro, and only won 1 game for the rest of the year.
And then their defense. I mean, you have a veteran leader on the defense. You just need to fill in those gaps on the other side, on the defensive side.
Bro, I'm trading Buda Baker, dog. Bro, you were 3-14. You keeping Buda Baker ain't gonna change nothing. You trade him, you get picks, younger talent or something, dude. Get people in there. Nobody's expecting the new coach to come in and win 14 games or 13 games like Mike Vrabel did. Again, what Kurt Cignetti's done in college football isn't normal, and what Mike Vrabel did and what Liam Cohen did is not normal. Turning 4-win teams to 13-win teams.
You never said you had to go 13, but you have to show some promise. I mean, they have a squad.
I'm saying it's like you're not going to do that, but like, yeah, if you come in and you only have to win 4 games to beat the 3-game wins that they had. So I mean, you come in and win 6, you're in the right direction. Then the next year you win 8, okay, you're still not in the playoffs, but you're there. Then the next year you win 10, that might get you in the playoffs in the NFC.
They might get some picks, but I mean, Buda
it's just hard.
Is kind of older, isn't he?
Their division might be the hardest or the second hardest division in football. They had 3 teams make the playoffs this year, with the 49ers, the Rams, and the Seahawks. And 2 of the 3 teams were just in the NFC Championship game. And honestly, those teams aren't going to lose a whole lot, I don't believe. I don't think a lot of people are up for contracts. So I would just be like, let's hope, let's get this guy in. We're not striving for the playoffs. Our goal is just to win 6 or 7 games. But I think that's the way they need to go. Maybe sign an offensive-minded head coach instead of a defensive-minded head coach. I am so against hiring defensive-minded head coaches unless you're like a Mike Vrabel who's already proven in the past that you're able to win. Like, he took that Tennessee team with Ryan Tannehill as quarterback and Derrick Henry and that defense that he made pretty well. Like Mike Tomlin, you could hire Mike Tomlin, proven defensive head coach. Bill Belichick, proven defensive head coach. But, like, I would not hire in this type of league right now. I would not. I would hire a good defensive coordinator, but I would not hire. Look at the Chicago Bears. Defensive-minded head coach Matt Eberflus. They were terrible. The second you get Ben Johnson, now I'm not bashing Ben Johnson, but I'm saying the second you get an offensive-minded head coach and a decent defensive coordinator in Dennis Allen, you are able to flip that whole team around and go from winning literally 5 to 8 games a year to winning 11. And winning your division. And winning your division in the first year. So I'm not saying that's going to happen to every team, but hiring a defensive-minded head coach. I think Todd Bowles needs to go in Tampa Bay.
Well, there's a difference between, like, hiring veteran defense. Like, you can only get good by doing it. So, like, if you don't ever hire any, you're never going to hire any at all.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Defensive-minded head coaches, they don't get to call the defense. To whereas offensive-minded head coaches call the offense still. If you're a defensive-minded head coach, you still have a defense coordinator. Yeah, you probably do that stuff, but you have to look at the whole flow of the game and stuff. Whereas if you're an offensive-minded head coach, I personally think, all right, yeah, we'll talk about scheme on defensive side, but I'm not honestly into it as much as the offensive side, to where we get to focus on schemes and such. But yeah, I talked to you on how we can beat this scheme as a defensive coordinator and stuff. But you're still calling the plays on the defensive side, but I'm the offensive coordinator. I'm the offensive guy, the offensive minded calling it. Like Ben Johnson, yeah, he has an offensive coordinator, but he kind of just runs shit by him, saying like, "Hey, we're running this," and he's just sitting there learning from Ben Johnson, and he's letting Dennis Allen do what he has to do. I mean, they still discuss obviously, but I personally just think that the offensive minded head coaches in this type of league right now. Now, give me in the 2010s, like the early 2010s to about 2010 to 2017. Yeah, defensive minded head coaches all day. Give me defensive minded head coaches all day long.
See,
And
I
it wins.
think with defensive-minded head coaches, you have to have a superstar quarterback. Because back in the 2010s, the ones that won that were
But
defensive-minded
no
was Tom
offense.
Brady, the Mannings, who could call plays on field. You need a quarterback that can call their own plays. So
And the only guy that had an offensive minded head coach in that situation was Peyton Manning. When they in
with the
his time
Colts
in,
or the Broncos,
was the Broncos with Gary Kubiak when they won the Super Bowl. But they go, but we go to that's what I'm saying. And there's only four guys that are superstar quarterbacks in this league that we just discussed about, right?
which all of them had defensive coaches. They didn't have the pieces of.
Well,
I would
except Joe
say
Burrow. I
yeah,
guess you can.
Joe
Zach
Burrow,
Taylor's a
Zach
yeah,
Taylor's not a coach, so he doesn't count.
yeah,
but you look at it and it's like, yeah, you can do that because guess what? Now as a defensive minded head coach, and you have one of those four quarterbacks. All right, cool. I can focus more on the defensive side to help make sure that we get stops, so my stud or my stud quarterback can go out there and play. Then you just need a competent, not even like a Ben Johnson level coordinator. You just need a competent
yes,
offensive coordinator that knows what he's doing, and and as a head coach, you know what he's doing, but you get to focus on the defensive side to make sure you can help out your star quarterback as much as possible. And that's why I think that like the Browns need to hire an offensive minded head coach. I think that they had Kevin Stefanski, which I think was dumb to let him go, even though after a bad year. I understand it was a bad year, but your offense was atrocious. I think the Raiders need to hire an offensive head coach, which I mean Pete Carroll was, but dude, he's out of date, bro. He's out of date.
Yeah,
I would say the
I
same.
agree. It's definitely want to hire an offensive coach, but like every point we brought up, like literally could be flipped. You're saying like we need to just hire a good offensive coordinator, well you just hire, or you hire a good defensive coordinator, well you just hire a good offensive coordinator. Like again, I obviously agree, but like everything that's been brought up could literally be flipped, and there's no real argument about it.
Well, that's what I'm saying is like this. But how many actual good offensive coordinators do you know that aren't head coaches? Like Josh McDaniels, right? Sucks as a head coach, but a great offensive coordinator. That's why Mike Vrabel can honestly just be like focus on the defensive side more, which is why I think the Patriots defense is so, you know, is very consistent. Like they don't give up a lot of points. They're very disciplined. But you look at that, but then you also look at like an example of defensive minded head coach, right? Think about this. Perfect example. The Jets hire Aaron Glenn, right? Defensive coordinator for the Lions, right? The Lions defense was good when they weren't healthy. Guess who they hired as offense coordinator? The guy that was under Ben Johnson. So you're thinking like, oh hell yeah, this guy's gonna be able to do good and go into there. So they hire him as offensive coordinator with the same mindset as Ben Johnson. I understand that they did not have what they needed and stuff, but you could have came up with a better scheme, a better plan to get wide receivers open more. Like Ben Johnson had plays, dude, where you saw Amon Ra or Jameer Gibbs do a wheel out, and they were butt ass wide open, and Jared Goff just didn't have to overthrow them. And so, like, I'm thinking, like, so that's a lot harder. To whereas now, if the Jets would have hired Ben Johnson, I think the Jets' offense would have been a lot better.
Probably. Well, the issue
Like,
was the fact it wasn't that they couldn't scheme anything. It's that when they did, they had a quarterback that was indecisive. That was
yeah,
one. And second is when he wasn't indecisive, the defense was in his face and like a, a second and a half.
Yeah, the Jets don't count. They're horrible.
Like they didn't have a chance. Their quarterback was indecisive, so when the offensive line actually did hold, he didn't pull the trigger on making the easy pass. He waited for the spectacular downfield pass to pop open, and it never did. And then when it was a schemed route where you could literally just see someone making a cross right in front of the O line, he didn't even have enough time to get that pass out the other half of the time.
Yeah.
Like the Jets is like a hard example because there is so much wrong with the main core pieces that they have.
with everything
Like
about the team and organization.
Yeah, but what like at the start of the year it was like
they
okay,
showed
let's think about
promise.
this. If you're what I'm saying is like at September of last year, Justin Fields actually some people had hopes for him because of what he looked like
At the end of the
Pittsburgh last year.
Steelers, yes.
Yeah. So everybody was like, okay, maybe he'll be able to do this, and especially after that first week when they played the Steelers, dude had 4 touchdowns, and it was like okay, like 2 rushing, 2 passing, right? They were there. Garrett Wilson's looking good. They had like they were looking very good as a team, and they signed those new offensive lineman pieces. So you had that hope, right? And then the next week, Justin Field gets a concussion early in the or like late in the second quarter or something against the Bills. He's out for a week. They almost beat the Bucks. Just a couple miscues. So you're like, okay. But I'm telling you, it's like I would rather, if I was a GM, I would rather hire an offensive-minded head coach like a Ben Johnson. I know Ben Johnson. I know I keep comparing him, but like I would hire Mike McDaniel's. Like, dude, his offenses were good, except this year. Honestly, this was the worst offense he ever had in his 4 years coaching at Miami. Correct?
Yeah. Oh,
And that's
yes.
also because I also think that's because Tua was playing like complete ass. So I would if I was like the Raiders, I would have tried to hire him, which they were. Now the Giants hiring John Harbaugh, I'm interested to see who John Harbaugh hires as an OC. Because I do think Jackson Dart's pretty good, but I don't think he's going to be like the Lamar Jacksons and the Josh Allen and the Joe Burrows to where I don't know. We'll see how it is.
See, I think if you're going for a chip, like if you're in like missing one or two pieces and you're just doing a new coach, I think that's when you get an offensive-minded head coach. If you're like the Raiders or the Cardinals or some team that's like struggling on both sides of the field, I think you build a defense first. Because it doesn't matter if you can put up 35 points. The Bengals already proved this. You need a defense to stop somebody. And I think it's easier to fill in gaps on the offensive end because the league is so offensive heavy. There's more good offensive players than there is defensive players. I think that's pretty easily to say. Like you can scheme open offensive player, like an average player, to make them seem a little bit above average on a team. But you can't. A defense, you got to build up a good defense, and that can only be done by a great defensive coordinator, what can be influenced more at a head coaching position than what can be done at a defensive like coordinating position. Like if you're trying to sign somebody.
Yeah, but you have to have enough. But what I'm saying is that as a defensive head coach, you have to have enough faith in your offensive coordinator because you honestly, as a defensive-minded head coach and you were probably a DC, correct? Before you were there.
Yes.
So it's like you know how the defensive side works, but offensively you aren't. You're more in tune on how to stop defenses. That's why they say that like wide receivers that turn into cornerbacks are good cornerbacks because they know what the offense is doing. But here's the thing: if you've never been an offensive-minded guy, you don't know how the offense is going to work. So like you make these defensive schemes to make it hard on guys, to whereas offensively you're making schemes easier because it's easier to pick apart a defensive scheme than it is to pick apart of an offensive scheme.
Well, that's just because there's less that you can do on defense.
Well, that's what I'm saying, and it's like Mike Vrabel. That's why Mike Vrabel being a head coach and being able to trust Josh McDaniels. That's what I'm saying. It's like they were able. I know, like this goes back to what Alex was saying. Like if you're a defensive minded head coach, hire a good offensive coordinator. But there's not that many good offensive coordinators that aren't head coaches right now. Like maybe the best one is probably Joe Brady for the Bills. Correct?
Probably.
Yeah, probably.
Like Kellen Moore is the head coach for the Saints right now. And they looked pretty good at the end of the year. They won 6 straight games or whatever it was with Tyler Shuckett there. So he's doing pretty good down there. And who was the head coach before him that did Dennis Allen, who's now the defensive coordinator at the Chicago Bulls. So you get all that stuff in.
Like, I'm not saying the defensive head coach is the position to win a chip.
No.
I'm saying if you're starting from scratch, a defense is where you need to start at first.
You know what I just realized that's going to freaking revoke my fucking argument probably? Is that the head coaches in the Super Bowl right now are both defensive-minded head coaches.
Yep.
Because you start off with defense. Because you can't. It doesn't matter if you put up 35 points.
But guess what? The offensive coordinators are also Clint Kubiak. That's one of the three guys that aren't like head coaches, and the other one is Josh McDaniels. Like those are two so it's like
proven offensive coordinators. Yes.
So it's like, but there's not many of those. I think there's more good defensive coordinators than there are good defense head coaches. There are better defensive coordinators
than there is offensive.
I don't even know how to word this. I think there are more better defensive coordinators than there are better offensive coordinators. Like just offensive coordinators that aren't calling plays. Like if we let's think here real quick. Who's the offensive coordinator for Raiders was Chip Kelly, so they didn't have any fucking option there. Like, they were terrible. The offensive coordinator for the Texans, their defense was so good, that's why they won. DeMeco Ryans has that defense rolling, and their defense coordinator is good.
Yes.
Their offensive coordinator was terrible. That's the thing what I'm saying is about the defensive-minded head coaches and offensive coordinators. You got Ben Johnson, offensive-minded in Chicago, doing pretty good. You have, why am I forgetting?
What team?
Andy Reid for Patty Mahomes, offensive-minded guy.
He also had, other than the last year that they won, like when they won their chips, they also had a genius of a offensive coordinator.
And defensive coordinators.
But they never called the plays. Offensive coordinators never called the plays. Dude, their offensive coordinators have been Matt Nagy and whatever his face is.
The one that when they won two of their chips, he didn't necessarily call the plays, but he brought plays to the table that they never would have thought of.
Well, yeah, I'm not saying that, but I'm saying it's like who's calling plays, who's the real like. Andy Reid is the one that's actually sitting there dicing out the plays, doing the plays, because they trust their offensive coordinator, which I forgot his name.
Eric Bieniemy.
To do that.
Or something like that.
So, and then, but I don't know. I just think that way.
They also have Steve Spagnuolo as their defensive coordinator, and he's the best D coordinator in all of football.
So, yeah, you don't rest.
That's who I meant. That's who it is. Steve Spagnuolo. That's who I was looking for, not Eric Bieniemy. All right, there you go. Eric Bieniemy is their new offensive coordinator again. But anyway, move off of this topic. Let's go into the Kentucky segment with Alex Ward real quick.
Cats are rolling, man. Don't got a whole lot new to add. Another win. We beat Travis Perry and Ole Miss. Probably a little too close, but we were comfortable in the second half. We play Wednesday. We go to... we play tomorrow. We play Vanderbilt at 9 p.m. So it'll be a good test. See if we can crack the top 25. If we win, we're doing great. Again, I talked about Cam already. Unfortunately, that he went down with an ankle injury. But they're looking good. How I thought they'd look. Amari Williams could go ahead. Jaden Quaintons is still out, unfortunately. Same with Jalen Lowe and Cam. So this team is cursed and plagued. But it's next guy up. They're thinking about burning a red shirt from one of their top prospects or recruits from this last class to fill out more depth for the team, which I don't think would be the worst idea. No college experience. Obviously, he's a freshman, but you got to have enough players on the roster. Can't put Walker Horn out there.
You sure?
But yeah, I'm
You
sure.
should, though.
But yeah, they're looking pretty good. I'm excited to watch a little bit of the game tomorrow. I'll probably fall asleep because it's at midnight.
Where are they playing?
Vanderbilt. They play at 9, but that's really late because Vandy's an hour behind Nashville. But yeah, Cats are looking good. Nothing to update y'all with football. I do not know if we found coordinators or if some of them followed Stein. I can let y'all know next week. But go Cats.
Dude, do you want to talk about how you had to go into work this morning?
Well,
For y'all that want to know, there has been, in case you aren't from the Midwest or eastern of the United States in America,
Yeah.
we had a snow catastrophe. Pretty much from the Mississippi River to the Atlantic River, except Florida.
The Atlantic River?
Atlantic River, Atlantic Ocean. That's on me. The Atlantic Ocean, except Florida.
yeah,
South Florida.
yeah. So I don't got much to say. We're like the only store open in the whole area. We had about 7 customers all day today, but I guess I was getting paid. So
Hey, my store was open. I just didn't go to work.
yeah,
Who is calling me?
no comment. I guess.
Do you think it's time for? We're getting about halfway through
Yeah, how are you doing?
NCAA men's college basketball. What'd
Yeah.
you say?
Yeah.
Looking at some of the mock drafts and where they're gonna, based on records of the NBA. So right now, the number 1 pick is looking like Darren Peterson out of Kansas, and he's going to end up on the Indiana Pacers, which I think would be good.
And would be insane.
But they also have a lot of They also have a lot of guards.
Yeah, Nemhard.
You have Nimtard.
Often plays both.
I can't even think of his name. He was from Arizona, I think, 2 years ago. I can't think of his name. He's 00. I know that for sure. Or 0, like Mathru, whatever.
Matherin.
Yeah, Matherin. He plays guard forward. Number 2 pick would be AJ on the Sacramento Kings.
He plays. They play Arizona, number 1 team in the country.
They're playing right now,
Right
actually.
now. Yep.
He'll be beside Keegan Murray at the forward position, small forward, power forward kind of spot. So I think that'd be a kind of interesting matchup. The Atlanta Hawks would be with the 3rd pick would get Cameron Boozer, which I think would definitely fill out their team, whether they get AD or not at the trade deadline. Do you have something to say?
Yeah, since we're on the NBA thing real quick, I want to talk about this. Draymond Green on his podcast, The Draymond Green Show, said probably maybe one of the most dumbest things I've ever heard in my freaking life.
Count me as not surprised.
With all due respect to MJ, he doesn't mean more to the city of Chicago than Derrick Rose. That might be the most acidine comment I've ever heard in my life.
Asinine.
See, I would go like MJ, Derrick Rose, only because MJ is like Chicago, but he's also everywhere else in the world.
Yeah, like, bro, like, he brought him 6 championships. No offense to Derrick Rose. I guarantee you if that dude never tore his ACL, he probably has a chip. But, like, Derrick Rose is really good, and he was really good, but, dude.
I would say he's number 2, though.
To Chicago?
Because he's from Chicago.
Yeah, maybe Mike Ditka might be more, but...
The only reason why Derrick Rose is so in Chicago is because he's from Chicago.
Yeah, like, I get
and
that.
then he got drafted
to say
by him.
say that he is more...
Now, then MJ is crazy. Being more than MJ is crazy.
MJ is the only reason the Bulls were a relative organization.
Well, yeah, when he joined, they were full of cocaine heads.
Dennis,
Literally.
shout out Dennis Rodman.
He wasn't a
Well,
cocaine head. He was just
Well,
crazy.
anyway, we can finish.
But this is more like just the mock draft of like the top, I think 15, maybe like the lotteries. And then Washington would get Caleb Wilson, which now thinking about it, having Trae Young, a very he's a scoring, but he definitely passes well. Having a young big go with a good guard is actually not the craziest thing in the world to see. Like to have having a young big have a veteran guard work with them is not the worst thing that they could have done. So I kind of see where that trade comes in at now for the Wizards, even though they're not going to win anything this year or probably next year.
Or the year after.
They might be something the year after. They probably will have another higher pick. They'll be better than what they've been.
Well, yeah, it doesn't take a whole lot.
That is true. The Jazz would get Kingston Flemings. Pairing him with Ace Bailey would be kind of an interesting. Ace does he play guard? Does he play shooting guard or small forward?
Shooting guard.
So you'll have a high intensity shooting guard who actually he's not even getting that much time. And with the emergence of Keontae George, so you'll have those three young players together. They might have a little trio guard squad that's going to be high intensity. Michael Brown Jr. projected to go to the Nets at 6. His stock might drop a little bit after today's game. He went 2 of 15. He was 1 of 10 from the 3-point line. He couldn't hit the side of a barn if he wanted to tonight. 7 has Nate Ahmed out of Tennessee. I know Alex doesn't like to see any Tennessee players succeed.
He probably stinks. He's probably horrible.
Him being with, I don't know, that team already has a young guard and a young small forward out of Brandon Miller and
God, they got mollywopped. They lost by 31.
Yeah, they did. They got
good. That makes me happy.
So I don't necessarily know where he would fit in the future of that franchise, but
we're 13.
With today's NBA, you never know where players are going to be put at what position.
Yeah. Well,
and then,
let's wrap this up. Should we? Or never mind. You still going?
We'll finish the last 10. We'll do the top 10. So we have 8, 9, and 10. Jaden Quincy is from Kentucky's projected to go to Chicago. Quaintance from Kentucky.
Dare talk bad about Alex's Pookie's
My bad,
last
Alex. He's projected to go 8 to Chicago.
Him and Miles will be a crazy mixture.
And with Josh Giddey handling at the helm. 9 is going to be Darius Acuff from Arkansas. He's been pretty well this season.
He's been the dog
as well.
This season, dude.
Yes.
He's shown up in every big moment. Yeah, he's been great.
And then Thomas Hugh out of Florida is projected to go to the Bucks, who also don't know what they're doing with their franchise.
No, they're crumbling.
Meyer in that mock draft?
No.
I thought he was at 2 or 3.
Let's see.
I'm guessing no. Yeah.
Not in the second round?
Snubbed.
I don't even know if the second round's on here.
No. I don't think he'll get drafted. He might make a G League team, but I doubt he gets drafted.
If he doesn't, I would be like, dude, if he needs to go overseas, he would make a lot of money in the European League.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, was that the top 10? All right, cool. Finishing this up here, 1 second. Do we want to go ahead and do our
picks for the Super Bowl?
Yes, let's go ahead and do our. Well, I guess we can do that next week because we have an episode in between.
Yeah, we should probably wait.
So we'll do that next week. Spring ball starts in about a month and a half. or actually, yeah, about a month and a half. And then we get opening day. So we'll start getting into more of that. Don't worry, though. Weekly streams will continue even after football season's over. We just need to
Y'all
discuss.
worried?
We just need to discuss if we want to stream before the Super Bowl next week, or do you want to stream on the day of the Super Bowl?
I mean, neither of us have a team in it. I wouldn't be opposed to streaming during the Super Bowl. Like I don't want to stream for all of it. I want to actually watch some of it, but
Well, then we might just stream the day before then and catch some college basketball games. But anyway, guys, don't forget to like, subscribe. Go check out the Instagram, J.A.B Sports. We're going to post a reel on there again. Go view it, guys. We are trying to blow up. We are trying to get to where we can do this as a everyday thing, to where we can actually get better equipment so that, I don't look like a freaking blue white guy. And, and so Alex's computer doesn't die every.
so true. Speaking of that, it's on 15%, so I might be out here.
All right, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And peace.
Pieces.